Round 8, Anzac round, a really special round of rugby league. Can we just, hey Kev, how are you, mate?
I'm good, Dobbo. Yourself?
Yeah, can I just say, my late great-grandparents, all four of them, served, and there are many women and men today that are serving our country. People who have lost their lives who are still serving today, thank you. That's all I can say. I can't say any more than we are so bloody lucky that you are so brave. And so Anzac round is a special round, Kev.
Definitely.
You've coached it. You've played in it.
Yeah.
It is a super, super important
Well,
round.
it just stirs the emotions, doesn't it? You know, certainly for me and for all of those men and women that serve our country and protect our country.
Yeah.
We take our hats off. My mother's father was a war veteran.
Yep.
And went to war, obviously. And, yes, back in the day, it must have been horrible for those young men to be dragged into those wars. But that's why we stand here today and we salute them, you know, for their work and their dedication to our great country.
You do a dawn service?
I do.
Me too. Yeah, I go to the Ipswich, mate, just right there at Ippy.
We just go to the Twong RSL there on the hill. And
always special, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great, mate. It's really good. And it's great to see the different years, their ages, you know, from young kids to middle-aged people like myself, and then you get the older ones again who have, some of them battle getting up the hill, but they get there. It's great to see.
It's funny you talk about battling getting up hills because, mate, I've noticed over the last 24 to 48 hours that you're sporting an injury. Now, we talked about it on this show. Ava Walters, we're sorry, she had the operation. She's all clear. Recovery's, her rugby. What's happened, mate?
Yeah, well, I was in Sydney over the weekend and on this, called the Roosters game, went to bed, had a cup of tea, went to bed, and then through the night I got up to go to the toilet and I tripped over the coffee table.
Right.
And sort of give the head a bit of a whack on the way down as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which I didn't need. But I twisted my knee. So, and I'm, because I'm old, I haven't been to see anyone. Or
are you going to go and see something?
I'm not going to refuse to. NRL keeps asking me, but I'm going to just tough it out.
I just want to know one thing. You suggested that you'd had a cup of tea. Knowing you,
it was a cup of tea. Trust me.
Okay, you sure?
I'm
that?
sure.
Okay, because it might have been Kev's Sunday arvo.
Sunday arvo.
It was a Sunday afternoon.
It was Saturday night.
It was a Sunday arvo. It's odds on. It's a bottle of white wine. Anyway, let's get into previewing. Tonight is a big one. A massive game. Going to be 50,000. Buzzmuroo playing before. They got a big Anzac ceremony. The Dogs take on Brisbane. Now we won't know till kick-off, but the mail is that Ricky won't play.
Ricky's out as well.
Yeah, that's the mail is, and look, it come down to the last hour, but there is a little bit of mail circling. It's an infection. He's got a cut and it's infected.
Right.
Now, that's what we're hearing, that he probably most likely won't play. Piakura starts. I like Cobbo at fullback. I give him a chance, a big chance.
Yeah, Cobbo, he's a good fullback, certainly. He can play fullback, centre wing, but I think the Broncos are going to really miss Reece Walsh, mate. Like I know I'm a Walsh fan, but and people saying, he hasn't done much this year. Well, let's have a look at this. 5 try assists in 6 games, 7 games now. 3 tries. Half the time, he was on one leg last week and still managed to score a try and set up a try.
Yeah.
And his work at the back defensively has been very good. Now, that's Cobbo's probably his biggest strength as fullback as well, is his ability to get the defensive line. The only really game I can remember Cobbo playing fullback was round 1, Penrith 2023. And we won that game 15-14, when I say
very
we.
good.
And Cobbo was in the top 2 or 3 players of the game. So, and he's off contract, isn't he, Selwyn?
It is a very big dress rehearsal.
If I'm in Selwyn's mind, I'm thinking, well, if I can have a good month here, get a month there before Walsh is back, I can show other clubs and show this club what a player I am.
Can I ask you, in all seriousness, do you think Walsh has been good? I mean, do you think?
I'm not saying he's been good.
No, but I'm just saying you're reading out those stats.
Well, this is just to support what I'm saying. Like his errors are up high, right?
17 errors.
Right. But if I'm being honest, I reckon he's playing at about 60% of what he's capable of.
Well, he's injured.
And why is he? I got no idea. Why is he?
Mate.
Apart from last week, he hasn't been injured.
Well, he hasn't been whacked either. Is he overthinking it? Is he overthinking it?
Well, I've got my reasons, and I'll just sit on those for a bit.
Yeah.
Until we get longer into the season, get a bit more of a look, bit of a view of.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Okay, so Brisbane take on the Dogs tonight. Dogs are undefeated. Will they be partying down at Howard Smith's
What's this Dogs? The Dogs are having a party stuff. Is that
Well,
in
that's
their
their song.
Is it?
Yeah.
Righto.
Who wins it?
Well, I'm going to tip the Broncos because my son's playing for the Broncos.
He's
and
starting.
Starting.
Yeah. Thank
Knew it
God.
wouldn't be long, Bill.
Well done, Billy.
Well done. What about the try last week from Billy Walters? We've got to get him on the show now. He scored
Well,
a
how
try.
come he hasn't been on the show?
Well, we're waiting for him to score a try and start.
You bastardise your other son's hat, his business, Walters Contracting, like Walters Construction.
Now, look, back to the game, Dobbo. The Dogs have been impressive, right?
Yeah.
I admit that. Their defence is outstanding.
Yeah,
If there's one team that can break down the Bulldogs' defence, it's Ben Hunt and Adam Reynolds. But they got to play smarter than what they've been playing. If they go there with the right game plan, they can topple the Bulldogs. But no easy feat. They're undefeated for a reason, and their defence, as I said, very good. 11.4 or something points a game, average, against. That's pretty good.
Well, what I would say is that I think that Brisbane are going to win, and I'm going to go as far as saying 13 plus.
What?
13
You've been
plus.
drinking again, Dobbo.
Broncos, 13 plus. You've heard it here first. And
I'm not associating myself with that, with my
you don't.
tips,
You don't,
tips
Mr.
at the end.
Fence Sitter. I'll give my opinion later. You just wait. No. You go for the Bronx because your son's playing. I'm going to put my kahunas on 13 plus.
Righto.
That's right. Righto, let's get to Anzac Day, always special. Chooks take on the Dragons. That's at Allianz. Always a
Massive
wonderful
game.
day. Yeah, sell out. I can't trust St George. I don't know what it is. I know they got beaten last week. Crichton's back into that side.
Yeah, I like Crichton back in the side.
I just think that the Roosters, for whatever reason, will get up for this one. I think they win it.
Well, they were up for the last week's game against Penrith, but then Penrith sort of clicked into gear with what they do, and they sort of choked the Dragons out of it. The Roosters out of it. But I'm going to tip the Roosters as well. I like them at home. Big clash. Don't you love that bugle before the
last post?
Yeah, the last post.
Always good.
How
Always good. Yep, man. We'll be at every single game.
Big second game for both teams.
Yeah,
though,
big
Dobbo.
time. So you're going to Chooks?
Chooks, yeah.
Okay. Knights take on the Wars. Shans Nickel-Klodstad yesterday announced 2-year extension. He was going to go to the Super League, so they've got him staying on. Kev,
They can't score points tonight.
They are rotten.
They're on 10 points a game.
Mate.
When you got Ponga in your side and you're
Strange. Frizzell.
Yeah.
Brayley. Bradman Best. Marzu. Keep on going.
Gagai.
Gagai. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, their problem this year at the Knights has been their lack of forward depth because they've got some injuries in there and they haven't been able to roll them out. But they got to get Best in the game. They've got to get Gagai in the game, and Ponga in particular. Just strip it right back. And
Best player in the game. You've got the best player, arguably, in the game.
Yep.
Like, he's in the conversation.
Yep.
And you're averaging what?
10 points a game.
Oh, come on. He won't be getting sacked either. So if there are any of you rednecks that want to call for the sacking of the coach, he's an Isaac client and it's ironclad and there's no way they're paying him out $2 million. And 4 out of the last 5 years he's got him to the 8.
Yeah, well,
so he needs to have.
They were off to a bad start. There's a few clubs like that.
They were my wooden spoon. Remember? And then I quickly backpedaled.
When
but,
Isaac heard about it, did he?
Well, Frankie Barrett rang me up, not in a brill.
Oh,
he had hot sweats.
Well, you got to respect
Francois rang up in hot sweats over that I'd said that they were going to be wooden spooners. But look, I can't tip against the New Zealand Warriors.
That's in that new stadium, isn't it, in Christchurch?
Yep.
So they'll get a bumper crowd in. Warriors at home in Christchurch, I think it'd be too hard to bump them. They were good last week.
Yeah, they certainly were.
Against the Broncos. So, and then the Storm taking on South Sydney.
Righto. Let's unpack this. No Harry Grant. Nelson has got the 22 jersey on.
He'll be playing.
So we know that. So Nelson plays. What is the stat after they've been beaten? What you've got this
32 plus points they come back and score the next week
every game
after they've been beaten. That's the average.
Uncle Wayne, Please, Uncle Wayne.
Now, Wayne's moved Latrell, hasn't he?
Yeah, back to fullback. Jai Gray goes to 14.
Gee, smart coach. How long has he been coaching for that, Bennett? I think this is game 9:45.
Is that right?
Or 9:46. So
Hasn't he coached more than that? No.
No. Well, that's just in the NRL.
Yeah.
He's had 3 or 4 years coaching in the Queensland rugby.
Jai Gray goes to 14.
Smart move. Bring him on. Slow middle forwards, leg speed through the middle. Jai Gray and Mitchell at the back. I think that's a huge thing.
Ewan Aiken to the edge.
Ewan Aiken, like him as a player as well. Jaden Sullivan comes back in the 7 jumper.
Love Bud Sullivan.
Yep.
So who wins
Well,
it?
the Storm are going to win that game. They don't get beaten in Amy Park, mate.
Yeah.
And the build-up that they do, I remember being at the Storm on the coaching staff there, and their day does start at, well, some of the staff used to go to a pre-dawn service, the War Memorial down in Melbourne. So, and they actually do 3 or 4 days out from the game. The Storm do something, like they really get heavily involved in the Anzac Day game. And they used to put a light show on there. They always used to play the Warriors down there, but that game is no longer this year. Someone else's turn to have a crack, but the Storm do it really well at Amy Park. So those players they'll be ready to go, particularly after what happened to the Dolphins in that game, giving up, what was it, 16-0 they're up or something?
Yeah, 16-0
and got run down by
the
plenty.
Dolphins. Yeah, 40 unanswered points.
I Storm to win, but the Souths will be in there fighting. They got
I'm going to back the Storm as well. No, I like it. Okay, I'm calling this game for Triple M. You can get it on the Triple M or listener app. This is the Cowboys taking on the Titans.
Two Queensland teams, eh?
Yeah, get excited if you want. It's the Cowboys every day of the week.
Yeah, they're off the bye, aren't they, the Cowboys? So they'll be rested up, ready to go.
You can't trust the Titans.
No, well, they've been a little bit up and down the last couple of weeks.
Up and down for the last 10 years. They can't. You cannot trust them, Kev.
Khan Pereira's back. He's a try scorer.
He can go.
Fafita's back in as well.
He's
and
on the
hamstring
bench.
has come good.
What do you make of Tom Weaver?
I listened to Des after the game in the press conference. He was happy with his performance, but he's no Campbell Graham.
Jaden Campbell.
Jaden Campbell, is he? So, but he's a good player filling in. AJ Brimson, for me, is the one. He's got to stand up, and be that key halfback or 5'8" in the team to guide them around, to help them, whether it's in his nature or not. I mean, he played well last week, picked up a couple of tries, but I think he's more suited to the one jumper, Dobbo. I think you'll find when Kieran Foran's ready to go, which
it could be sooner,
might have been this week or next week.
I think it'll be next week, you'll see him.
Magic weekend. I think you'll find that he'll go back to fullback Brimson, and Foran will come into the halves. Bit of a reshuffle there.
What? Who are you tipping, Kev?
I'm going to go for the Cowboys, mate. They've got 3 in a row. They're in good form. They're off the bye. They'll be fresh, ready to go. Saturday afternoon at the stadium. They love playing at that time. Yeah. Drinkwater and his little gang there will be throwing the ball around, inside balls, outside balls.
It bodes well.
Nanai back.
Yeah, on the edge. Yeah, he doesn't start, so he's starting.
Part of my tips at the the anonymous tips.
Just wait for your betting. Now, listen, the last game, Penrith take on Manly on Saturday. I can't even see Manly getting even close. No Jake Trbojevic. They've got some real dramas there.
No, well, Tom's back, isn't he? Tom Trbojevic is back, so that's a huge in for Manly. They're struggling. I think he'll solve a lot of their problems in defence and attack.
You're not going to tip. You're not going to tip Manly over.
No, I'm not going to tip Manly over Penrith. I got a bird's eye view of Penrith last week at Allianz Stadium, and that's the closest Penrith team I've seen to the 2024 version all season. Like, they were syncing up well with their attack, and their defence was humming. They kept the Roosters at bay there, who can, as we know, can score points. So, I like what I saw from Penrith. You could just tell with the connection some of those younger players have now with, Nathan Cleary was outstanding. Yo was outstanding. Edwards was outstanding. The only thing is their little number 9. He's not there. He's out this week, isn't he? Suspended.
Yeah.
Mitch Kenny.
Yeah, so you lose him. But I can't see Penrith getting beaten.
No, they won't get beaten. But I expect Manly to come in there pretty strong, but not enough to knock off the Panthers.
All right. I like the Sunday 2:00 game. Dolphins taking on Canberra. This is at GIO Stadium. They're back at home. I'm going to go as far as saying, and I said this the other day, I'm a huge all chips in on Canberra. I've had them 4 times this year.
You've got them in your top 4, haven't you?
I've got them in my top 4. I actually think they could win the comp. Yeah. I actually believe they could win the comp. I think it's so close. I think that they don't fear anybody. There's a little question mark over KO Weeks under the high ball. There is that question mark. But that forward pack, mate, they run roughshod over everybody at the moment. I can't see the Dolphins holding them. I know the Dolphins are coming off 3 in a row, but I think this is a real test.
Well, they're nice and physical, aren't they, the Raiders forwards, which will be tough, for the Dolphins men up front. But Maxi Plass gone back to hooker.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, he's probably one of his better positions rather than on the edge. But the Raiders are in such good form. They're very physical. They play an unorthodox style of rugby league, which is different to most teams. But I give the Dolphins a chance going down there. It's a good time to go to Canberra before it gets, too cold. But I think Sticky will be chewing the gum. And
he's ready. Sideline, mate. Yeah. He's in great form, mate. He's sick of travelling. I know that much.
Well, they have been around.
Well, they're going to come up here next week. The Magic Round.
Well, everyone's coming here, Dobbo. What do you want them to stay in Canberra?
I'm just saying they've
Take
been
the
everywhere.
if you want,
and then they've got to go on round 12. They've got to go to friggin' New Zealand. So, I mean, you want to talk about travel. They've been to
Where's the violin, mate? Oh, poor old Ricky. They've won 4 in a row. I
heard a rumour today. And I'm just completely that the Canberra Raiders, this is dead set, and you're going to get stirred up with this. The Canberra Raiders are looking at Billy Walters. Dead set, heard today. My mail is, and it's not out of Canberra, that even though he's at Brisbane, that the Canberra Raiders have a real appetite to try and get him to the nation's capital.
Well, haven't they got? They've just bought it.
Brayley, they've got Tom Starling, and Owen Paddy.
Yeah,
that his versatility.
Well. I played footy with his dad.
Yeah, mate, this is dead set. I don't know. I'm not saying rumour mills, and I haven't even told you.
Well, he wouldn't be the first Walters in a green jumper.
No, well, you're a premiership. You're a premiership player, and your brother Stephen, multiple premiership player.
Stevie Walters is.
What did he do? 89.
Green to the bone, mate.
What did he do? 90? No, 89, 90, and 94.
94. That's what.
He won 3 comps.
Steve Walters. That's what he talks about. You talk about the Raiders. 89, 90, 90. They made 3 grand finals in a row.
Yeah, I know. They got beaten by Penrith in 91.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Mark Guy.
But the 89 grand final. Wow.
Unbelievable.
That one?
94. I'm still crying. Martin Bella. Never, ever am I going to forgive you for dropping the ball off the kickoff. Ever. Anyway, another story.
Bulldogs fan?
That was when
I was at Bulldogs.
Another day. Well, that's another day. Can we just go back to, so you're going to tip Canberra or the Dolphins?
I'm going to go Canberra at home, They've been too good.
Watch this space about Billy Walters to the Raiders. Anyway, I've just heard it. Okay. I love him telling his dad stuff. Also, let's talk the last one. Tigers take on Sharkies.
The noise around the Tigers, Dobbo. Lachlan Galvin, he's in.
Yeah, but I'm sorry.
We're not discussing it?
No, I'm sorry. I've had enough. This management, the club, it's a basket case.
Gone.
I'm sorry, mate. It's over.
Yeah, okay.
Sharkies, tell me why, how the Sharkies get beaten. You tell me, other than Terrell May. Yeah.
They're not going to get beaten. But I obviously Galvin back in is a big one. But I just don't understand why you'd stand him down for a week. But I also don't understand Lachlan Galvin and the way that all... Let's just hope it's going away.
Got more to come. 4 o'clock, Leichhardt Oval, Anzac Day weekend, and you don't think they're going to support Lachlan Galvin? He will get booed to the proverbial. That is Heartland Balmain, and somebody like you want to protect him.
You reckon they're going to boo the home crowd will boo him?
100%, and it's wrong.
All right, 100%. I'm going to go you a Kev crumb chicken meal.
Right, that'd be good.
Right, this one is
be good to be invited to your house once
without plain flour or whatever. Everyone else wants to throw in Kev's crumb chicken.
Yeah,
right.
Righto.
I'm going to make it. If the Tigers win, I'm going to bring you and our.
They're not going to win, but
Darcy,
I'm telling you now, they're going to boo him. They're going to boo him like nothing else. He will be.
What about when he wins the game for him? They're going to boo him then? Not that I think I don't think the Tigers will win. I think the Sharks certainly.
Well, if they do, if he does well, they won't. They'll support him.
But what a way to finish the weekend, Dobbo. How good's that? How good is rugby league?
Yeah, I mean,
hey?
You can't script that he's at Leichhardt for the first game back. You just can't.
That's
script
just unbelievable.
I know. All right, there's our preview. Now, you would have heard it yesterday, but go and download Inside Ball Podcast. Josh Maguire was our guest yesterday, and I can't tell you how good it was. If you haven't heard it, go and give yourself some time. My son rings me up today. He's been mowing the lawns out at the nation's capital, Will Dobbin. That's his pocket money. And he said to me, mate, I've just listened to Josh Maguire. Unbelievable. And it is well worth the listen.
Well, he's a special character, Josh, in many ways.
That's a good way of putting it.
In many ways. Yeah. But I remember giving in Origin, He just loved Origin.
Oh,
Josh.
mate, he was made for it.
He
He's
just
made for rep footy.
Loved it. And he wasn't overly big. He wasn't overly strong, but he was tough.
I don't want to give
Origin
too much
tough.
away from this chat with him. Do yourself a favour. The reason that he took up rugby league alone is worth to listen. Let me just say the reason that he had to go, he was suspended. I'm not going to say what he did or what sport he played for, but he was under suspension. That's why he took up rugby league.
Surprise, Josh was suspended.
Yeah, so worth having a chat. Now, you've been at the bookmakers. There's a lot going on. He didn't get it right last week, Kev. What has your man given you this week?
Right, so we're going anytime try scorers. There's 4 of them, right? Game 1, the Broncos. Selwyn Cobbo at fullback.
Try.
He's going to score a try, right? Let's go up north. The Cowboys, I've got Jackson Purdue again because
You love
he's
him.
scored a try.
He's a try scoring machine.
If you don't like Jackson, get on Nanai to score a try from one of those.
But Jackson Purdue, you stick with Jackson.
Yeah, right. The Titans, Khan Pereira's back.
Loffy can score a try.
So he's he's one of the fastest. Him and Hammer, I reckon.
So you're going to suggest Purdue and Khan Pereira score in the same game? Okay, I like that.
Yeah, well, they're both going to score. And the last one, the Dolphins, our winger of the week, Jack Bostock, is going to score for the Dolphins.
No.
He's due, mate.
No.
He's due, Jack.
I can't condone this one with Bostock.
All right, well, there's your 4. Right? There's your 4.
$21 you get for that, Kev. $21.
Well, that's pretty good going. I mean,
mate,
they're all
I
try
like
scorers, those blokes.
Yeah.
You know,
So
Cobbo,
Purdue, Loffy Khan Pereira, and
Bostock, your man.
And the shirtless cook, the Jack Bostock. All right,
That's
Kev,
it.
that's it. Now,
we got any questions from the...
we will have that. I just want to say thank you to Hoppy's Car Wash. That's over. Well and truly over. I mean,
that was a huge hit.
Huge hit.
Numbers were fantastic.
Yeah.
Actually, there was a bit of turmoil around about that as well, a bit of miscommunication.
Yeah, I know. That's all right.
And Chris Johns, the owner of Hoppy's, wasn't very happy with some of his staff.
Well,
but we apologise for that for anyone that missed out or didn't get accommodated in the right way. But we'll get another special going on in the next couple of weeks.
Amelia, who works with me at Triple M, Vigolaro, she got 2 cars through. She did Dad's car, and then she took her car.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So huge thanks to Chris Johns.
Yeah.
The original Outball Chris Johns and Hoppy's Car Wash.
Yeah, beautiful. Now, next week's Magic Round, we will have a very special guest for you next week as well. He's Magic Human Being.
We should try and get 2 guests being Magic.
Well, we might try and do that, but what I also would say is, and it brings me to my next concern, how big's Magic Round, Kev?
Well, it's massive, mate. I mean,
if you're in rugby league...
Now, I've seen it from 3 angles as a supporter.
Yeah.
And I've coached a team at Magic Round, which is unbelievable, and I've done the commentary, and the commentary side of it is just amazing.
So
I love it.
So where I think of this, if you're involved in the game of rugby league, it's just like semi-final. You can't miss. You just can't miss Magic Round. It's here in Queensland. It's
even
in
if
Brisbane.
you can't get to the games, get to the bloody
right.
Get to Caxton Street. How many pubs are there? Right. Darcy will know. He's been down.
Well, this is where I want
to
bring up about producer Darcy, and I thought, why not? I mean, next week is Magic Round. He has in his other life.
Is he not going?
An award. Well, wait for it. An award-winning podcast that has hundreds of thousands of listeners, right? And you would think, being Magic Round, you would be front and centre. He asks his listeners to be a part of it. No. He's going to his girlfriend's 30th birthday weekend in Noosa.
Right.
Now, when I do this, I question blokes, and he's not married yet. So, Darcy, I've got a message for you. Run. You're a doormat. Run, brother. Run. I can't believe you're missing it. I just want to put that out there.
Well, I think I'm going to take the other shoe.
Well, that's good.
I think it's wonderful. You're
married to a divorce lawyer, and I'm married to a divorce lawyer.
But marriage is about commitment.
Yeah, commitment to the sport.
Each other.
Commitment to earning money for your family. Magic Round. You don't organise stuff on a Magic Round, especially your wife's 30th. She can have a party anytime. You don't have to do it that weekend.
You turned 30 once, mate.
Well, it's not going anywhere. It's for the whole year. The whole year you're 30 for the year. So you know what?
Be on next week? Next year?
What? 31.
Magic Round.
It's on next year.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Next year.
You don't miss him. You don't miss him. He's missed the 24 installment.
Tell us what you think, listeners.
Should you give up I want to know this question. We're going to post this now, and we'll bring you on Monday. Should Darcy be going to Magic Round or going to his girlfriend? Oh, sorry, his fiance's
future wife.
Yep. They're not married yet.
No, but they're
a lot
engaged.
can happen before October. Should he be going to Magic Round or should he be actually going to Noosa?
You go to Noosa, young man. If you know what's good for you, you go to Noosa.
Grow a set, Darcy.
Well, who's with me?
No, we're going to put it up there, and on Monday we'll have the results because I know which way the people will have spoken.
I kind of know as well.
Hey,
I'm just trying to support Darcy.
Don't. Kev's cooking. I don't think. Have we got any questions? We have one question from Mitchie Wood, as usual, who is one of the rock solids on the Broncos. Hunt at 6. There's now some talk that Ezra's going to be rushed back straight away when he's free to play. Yeah. What would you be? Put yourself. You're coaching them. I know that's hard for you to, but you're in charge of them now. You've got Hunt and you've got Ezra. Where do you put them?
Well, Ezra's got to come back into the side, mate.
What, straight away?
Yeah.
You don't play him in the Q Cup first?
Mate, not a chance. What's honestly, the way that players prepare and train, gone are the days when I first started playing in the NRL, which was back when the dinosaurs were alive, if you got injured, you came back through reserve grade.
Yep.
And it just started changing when I started to come in. So if you're a genuine NRL player, you did the training, you did your rehab, and you went straight back into the team. That's what they do now, back into the team. Yeah. And someone tried to suggest to me, a few people actually, in circles that I walk in, suggested, Ezra, this is when the Broncos started their season, Ezra will be coming back through Queensland Cup. I said, not a chance, mate.
Had Ezra had the dramas when you were still the coach? Had that all happened when you were still the coach?
I was gone.
Oh, you were gone when it all went down?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And even if it was, I would have supported him, mate. Everyone makes, and we're not going to go over it, but everyone makes bad decisions. But, mate, they're missing Ezra, right? Ben Hunt's, he's played 9 for Queensland, Australia. It's hard for me to say that because Billy and Corey Pakes, 2 very good 9s, but right now, if Ezra was ready to drop into the team right now, we'd be playing 6, Hunt 9. And
put Billy to the bench.
Yeah, Billy or Pakesy on the bench. I'd have Billy because I think he covers a few more positions.
Yeah, sure.
That's how I see it, and I think you'll be very surprised if that doesn't happen.
Right. Well, that's all I need to know. We're going to be back on Monday. A lot to get through. Have a great Anzac round.
But do you agree with me?
I do. Right. I really do.
Most of Queensland, most of the Broncos supporters
would as well.
Would.
Yeah, look, we will preview next week the first game of the State of Origin that happens next Thursday night as well, the women's game. That's at Suncorp Stadium. We might have a special guest for you there. Monday's a big day for us.
Ali
Brigginshaw.
Won't be next week because she's
in camp. They're in camp
today.
But we will have somebody for you. We're also going to preview that, and we'll give you the results on whether or not Darcy, the doormat, should be at Magic Round and tell his missus, hey, put it back a week. We don't need to be celebrating on Magic Round. Have a great Anzac weekend. We'll catch up with you next week.